Welcome back everyone to Final Fantasy XIV once again. Today we're going to be just turning down my volume a bit here, because I forgot to do that. I usually do that. But yeah, today we're going to be starting on 5.5, the last bit of story content we have until Endwalker. And then after that I'm assuming going to be working on the raids, trials, all that. I'm pretty sure I would explain that. So let's go ahead and get started. My current eye level is 492. I found out that these little buggers here, the third in the slot here, the Revelation ones, the red-blue ones here, these guys actually count towards an entire different equipment line than the second ones here for the allegory ones. So I was able to get a bracelet and a ring that was at 520 using those third allegory Tombstone of Revelation here. So with that in mind, I'm going to probably get one more off of the Revelation line, and then one more off the Allegory line and see where I'm at. Because at the moment, the one that's dragging me down the most is a ring, and I'm going to have to use the Allegory ones for the ring, I think, because I have a 520 ring already here, so... But necklace and earrings, presumably one of these is going to be another 521. I don't think I'm going to have any issue getting to 495, which is where I want to be before I start on the other content after this main storyline. But we're definitely very close to the end here, guys. It's only going to be a couple more videos worth of main storyline this, and then I'm going to have to stop, put that on hold until November, all that stuff. We'll finally have some time to do some other stuff, perhaps through October, I'm thinking. But we'll see. Good news, Naran. Thadka and Yaran have finished their tour of Galamad, and are on their way back here even as we speak. As we still haven't heard anything on the towers from the Alliance, I'm hoping they might be able to shed some light on things. They're due to arrive any moment now, so let's see what they have to say, eh? Oh, welcoming party. You needn't have gone through the trouble. From what I hear, you've been more than busy enough as it is. I have. She may have waited for me to return because discovering a cure for tempering. Or before discovering a cure for tempering. As it is, I can't even pretend to be involved. But with any consolation, I myself was little more than a speculator. The lion's share of the credit must go to Alize, Graha, and Noran. But I believe I speak for the rest of us when we say we are proud to have rendered what little assistance we could. As you will also have heard, though, it hasn't been all tales of triumph. Just as we were taking steps toward finally addressing the primal threat, a pile of fresh problems landed in our lap. Anyway, it's good to have you back, though I can't help noticing that we're one Yarn short of a scouting party. You haven't lost him, have you? Well, I couldn't lose him if I tried, and I did try, repeatedly, but no, he decided to linger in Alamigo to apprise Reborn and the others of how the land lies in Galamad. And mayhap you would do the same for us. Indeed, it was just as Lee said. Worse, in fact, devastation as far as the eye could see. Nerva and the Ode, however, were notably by their absence. Might they have met their ends at the hands of Xenos and Fandaniel? Perhaps they may simply lost the will to fight. You see, the capital has been plunged into a deathly silence, with one exception, the Imperial Palace. It was a busy place before the war, but it has grown busier still, with throngs of soldiers and civilians working there day and night to rebuild, or rather transform it. Transform it into what? That is a difficult question to answer. The construction is vast and unsettling to behold, like something from a nightmare. According to the R&J, certain aspects of its design were clearly devised from the manipulation of ether into mind, magitech in other words. As unnerving as said edifice it was nothing next to the sight of its builders. They swarmed like the place like so many insects, working entirely a word exchange between them. No one overseeing construction, no one barking orders. It was as though they were possessed or tempered. We wanted to investigate more closely, but given our suspicions, it seemed wiser not to take the risk. If Fandaniel could bind Behemoth to his will, might he have done the same to the people of Galamad? Whatever the truth may be, this information is certainly to prove valuable. You have our thanks. We'll be sure to save some for Yarn J, which reminds me, I have a message from Alamigo. Reborn is hosting a meeting to discuss the latest findings on the towers, and has requested your presence. And why not leave that to us? You must be weary from your mission. No, I'm fine. Those towers have been on my mind since I first spied one on the way back, and I'm keen to get to the bottom of this. In that case, I shall stay and begin looking into another matter, as I promised Corral. We need to all attend. Very well, I suggest the rest of us make our way to Alamigo forthwith. The sooner we leave, the more time we have to speak with the RNJ before the meeting. Alright, let's go ahead and head to the Alamigan quarter. Imagine doing all this about having, like, flight and stuff like that unlocked. Having to constantly go back to Stormblood areas. Definitely worth unlocking the flight for the locks, even though the zone itself is, like, so underwhelming. Let's see. Oh, yes, I definitely want to repair. I had some bad time in the raids for getting currency a while back, and I was just thinking about how my stuff is probably a bit broken up. Wee, Ice Bear. I just did the Rising the other day, and it was neat to be able to get an umbrella like that. I guess they have this entire new thing. Where was it? Fashion accessories? I guess that must be a new thing, because I didn't have it unlocked before. But yeah, it's neat. I'm wanting to see what they're going to have for Halloween this year. I'm assuming we're getting an actual event, unlike last year. That was the one they ended up skipping because of COVID. But, my friends, much more I have heard of your travails in our absence. Heartened I am to see all of you hale and whole. As are we to see you safely return from your mission, Yarnjay. I trust Thancred made you feel welcome. Well, if it isn't Alphanod and his merry band. Arnvald, what are you doing here? When we spoke via Link Pearl, you told me you'd been away on a mission. Who's to say this isn't part of it, but enough about that. It's good to see you looking so similar. Thought you'd grown a bit taller after a whole year in another world, but apparently not. Well, I'm sorry to disappoint you. While my soul may be a year older, my body has hardly aged, as you are well aware. I may remind you that we Elzen are known to be late bloomers, especially in terms of our height. Mark my words, the day will come when even such aurochs such as yourself will crane your neck to meet my eye. It was not until my 20th summer that I myself outgrew my boyish proportions, though Membrunda towered over me nonetheless. Arnvald brings out the best in Alphanod, doesn't he? They both seem so at ease in each other's company, it's almost endearing. So what exactly brings you here? Oh, for Dola, mostly. We need to go over a few things before we set out. Wait, does that mean this has something to do with the towers? Yeah, what gave you that impression? Actually, tell me later. You've got a meeting to go to. I'll see you afterwards, alright? If Fordola is going with him, that must mean... My apologies, as Arnvald rightly pointed out, we have a meeting to attend. Let's be about it. Sounds like maybe Fedorla's getting an early release. We haven't heard anything about her since, like, post-Stormblood period.
Ere we begin, I would like to offer my gratitude to Masters Thancred and Urianger. 'Tis no small feat to infiltrate the Imperial capital and live to tell the tale, much less in times of civil war. Thanks to them, we may plot our course in full knowledge of how the winds blow in Garlemald.
Full glad are we to have been of service. But verily, such dangers as we did encounter pale into insignificance next to those faced by our comrades. An Ascian, armed with the might of Bahamut, bent on bringing about the final days.
Theatrics. He sought only to make a show of the power at the Telophoroid's disposal. But since then we have seen no sign of this Fandaniel or his worm. And while we've done what we can to bolster our defenses, there's no telling where he might strike next.
Whenever and wherever it may be, we must use the intervening time to learn more of our enemy. 'Twas with this in mind that we dispatched scouts to investigate the towers.
Our advance party took longer than expected to return. And when they did, they tried to kill us. Luckily, I'd seen that sort of thing before, and we were able to restrain them before they did any harm. Then it was just a matter of letting the Porksies do their work.
Are you saying they were tempered?
Once they'd come back to their senses, they told us everything they could. It seems that just as they were getting close to the tower, they heard an ear-splitting roar. And that was the last thing they remembered. But what worries me most is what they were saying right before they attacked. Glory be to Garlemald.
The Tempered have heretofore ever been thralls to primal entities. Yet these hapless souls were compelled to accept a nation as the object of their devotion. This calleth into question all that we know of the condition.
Would that the unsettling news ended there. Alas, there is more. Following the earlier reports of missing Amalja, we have learnt that other beast tribes have suffered similar losses. And we now have reason to believe that the abductions are connected to the appearance of the towers. Our scouts sighted black-garbed figures leading shackled Ixal in the direction of the tower in Dravania. The Temple Knights were able to intercept them before they could reach their destination, liberating the Ixal and apprehending their captors, each of whom was found to be equipped with Garlean arms and armor.
So the Empire is the common thread.
With the support of Xenos, it seems likely that Fandaniel has rallied a faction of the splintered Garlean army to the banner of the Telophoroi.
Lord Hien reached the same conclusion when I shared our findings with Doma. The plan had been to march on Garlemald from the east and west in order to force a peace treaty. But the situation has changed. Dealing with the threat of the towers must come first. Given the nature of the enemy and the proven risk of tempering, I could think of few suitable candidates to aid in this task. But I am confident in my choice.
What?
Resistant to primal influence as they are, they can investigate the towers without fear of being turned.
We are glad to put our gifts to use, Commander.
Gifted or not, going behind enemy lines remains a perilous undertaking. But we must know more if we're to strike back at our foe. I'm counting on you.
If it would give us the upper hand, I'd do it 100 times over. We won't let you down.
That concludes the briefing. You two, make ready and join your escort.
Are you certain about this, syaoranvee?
I am. Come on, let's talk outside.
Fordola was kind of a loose string. They never quite completely tied up back in Stormblind, so it's interesting to see her now. I guess it makes sense given the stakes involved here. Now that it's out in the open, I don't have to keep it under my proverbial hat anymore.
So you know, I've already gone through all the formalities at the Rising Stones. Made sure to inform Jamoldva and Vmar at Ralga's Reach as well.
Syaoranvee, I admire your enthusiasm, but this is far more dangerous than anything you have done before.
I know the risks. And I also know what's in store if we don't stop Fandaniel from carrying out his plan. With this power of mine, I can make a difference. If I stood idly by, I would regret it for the rest of my life.
And you, Fordola? Is this what you want?
What are you asking me for? It's not like I have any say in the matter.
Don't pretend. We both know Commander Eldin gave you a chance to refuse. And you didn't.
So the Empire's finished, is it? But that's what they're all saying. That the great and glorious Garlemald slit its own throat. And now, from out of its twitching carcass crawls the Telophoroi with bloody Xenos at its head! I fought for Garlemald. Killed for Garlemald. What was I part of? I need to know. Whatever it is, I need to know.
Very well. If your hearts are set on this, I shall not stand in your way.
If you've finished with your touching display of camaraderie, I have a question. Which tower are you planning to investigate, exactly?
Well, the one in Girabani is said to be tightly guarded. It's patrol after patrol out there, apparently. We'd be spotted before we got anywhere near it. Which is why we've set our sights on the one in Paglthan instead. There shouldn't be anything like as many Imperials to worry about down there.
Even so, I doubt the local Amalja will look kindly on it if they catch you sneaking around in their territory.
Fordola and I had a chance to learn the lie of the land in our previous forays there. We might still find trouble, but at least we won't lose our way. Well, we'd best not keep them waiting any longer.
Mayhap when all of this is over, we could take another trip to Loxeld. I would have you know I've become a rather capable swimmer since our last visit.
Ha! I'll believe that when I see it. Though, To be fair, getting into deep water does seem to be a scion's lot in life. Take care, eh? It means a lot, you know. You coming with me.
I'll still owe you for saving my skin, don't I? Can't return the favour if I'm not there.
I dare say you'll get your chance before long. That Fandaniel sounds like a tricky customer. Too much for the likes of me, anyway. But we both know I'd just be another soldier if it weren't for my gift. And I need to be a damn sight more than that given what's coming. I realise I can't hold a candle to a hero like the Warrior of Light, or Alphino, for that matter. He might look like he's 12, but he's seen more action than most people see in a lifetime. No, the fact is I'm nothing like them, and maybe I never will be. But I'll be damned if I don't try. They're counting on me. On us. So let's give it our all.
He does not want for conviction, that much is certain. So let us have faith in him. Him and Fordola both. While they see to the towers, I would attend to another task. Chasing down this lunar Bahamut.
Ah, bloody thing. Can you hear me? It's Tataru. I'm happy to say we've managed to find Estinian. And I'm sorry to say he went running off again the moment we told him about Bahamut. But he did mutter something about heading to Ishgard, so if you're quick, you might still be able to catch him.
Even if we set out this instant, he may already have left by the time we arrive. Have her send the Bonanza to Ishgard. It may prove useful should we need to give chase.
Gladly. I'll see to it as soon as Kryl and I get back to the Rising Stones. Good luck.
While you go off on your dragoon hunt, Urianger and I will return to headquarters. We have much to tell the others.
I wish you every success in your search for our elusive friend. May we all meet again ere long.
Alright, first quest down. So I'm assuming we have to probably talk to Alphinaud? Yep, okay. So Estinian was bound for Ishgard. Whatever it is that brings him home, we must hope it will keep him there long enough for us to go find him. Come, there's no time to lose. Alright, we have to go over to Ishgard, so let's go ahead and head off that way. Let's see. Probably Foundation, I guess. I'm assuming he'd be right around there. All present, good. Let's split up and search for Estinian. Since we're relatively new to this place, Gra and I will look around the open spaces, the squares and markets and whatnot. You and Naren can delve into nooks and crannies. Very well, let's reconvene at the airship landing later, with the Revel Estinian. Good luck. I think I should begin at the Sky Steel Manufactory, or perhaps you could try the Congregation? Lucia may well have heard news of our friend's return. What is this? Okay, so it's like a easy spot to like find stuff you need instead of having to go all the way to the one tomb spot that used to be around in like Goblin Town. So that's actually pretty neat, at least. I guess they did that just to make it a little bit easier on people. I haven't seen any of them in like any of the Shadowbringers areas, so it must be them doing it right when expansions move into being old expansions or something. Good day to you, Warriorlight. Lord Aramek sent word that you would be attending the meeting in Alamigo. So gather you'd not come here in search of him. To what then do you owe the pleasure of your visit? I see, no, we were not aware Sir Instinian had returned to Ishgard, but as I expect you remember, he is wont to come and go as he pleases. And he came seeking an audience with Lord Aramek, only to find him absent. In any event, I'm afraid I cannot help you. Perhaps one of your companions has fared better. Hopefully they have. Oh yeah, I can't fly here. It looks like they must be up on the pillars, so let's head on over there. Last Vigil, maybe? Okay, yeah, there's the pillars. I had to think for a moment. Yeah, they are indeed over that way. Seems like it's very often we end up over at this airship area.
No sign of him. Not that I've ever met him before, but the way Alphino goes on about him, I'm fairly sure I could pick him out in a crowd.
Speaking of which, it does seem awfully quiet. If the erstwhile Azure Dragoon had returned to Ishgard, would it not be a source of general excitement?
First the Scion's Coinkeeper, and now you. I'm beginning to think these meetings are more than mere coincidence. Not that I'm complaining. It's been too long.
Too long?
You look an ilm taller and twice as rugged. It suits you, Alphino. Quieter, though. Have you been giving him lessons on how to be the strong, silent type?
I am not Alphino! If the two of you are such firm friends, perhaps you should remember what he looks like. And what do you mean, rugged? Ugh! Had my brother mentioned what an oaf you are, I'd never have bothered looking for you in the first place.
Estinian Wormblood, the Azure Dragoon. He who fought and felled the dread worm Nidhogg at the Warrior of Light's side. To think the day would come when I should see this living legend with my own eyes.
Would someone mind explaining what is going on?
Is everything all right? I thought I heard Alize shouting. Estinian! It's been too long. No, it's quite understandable. That was hardly the first time we've been confused for one another. Nor, I suspect, will it be the last.
Well, I, for one, will not be making that mistake again. What I will say, for the second time today, is that you've grown. Inside and out. I can tell.
One can't remain a spoiled little lordling forever, you know.
At least someone's having a good time. You know, when we were growing up, Alphino would never befriend other boys because he couldn't stand the thought of not being in charge. But maybe that's changed. He seems just as happy around Estinian as he does Arenvald.
I think he learned how to talk with people rather than at them.
I wouldn't be so sure. He still loves nothing better than the sound of his own voice.
No rest for the righteous, eh? Speaking of which, I was just on my way to borrow an airship to take me to Azis La.
Azis La? How could I forget? The dragon with whom Bahamut shared the deepest of bonds.
Aye, Tiamat, his mate. Even now she remains imprisoned on Azis La, though her remorse binds her faster than any shackle.
I see. As the one who first summoned Bahamut, you believe she may be able to shine some light on his latest incarnation.
Might I suggest that we make the journey to Azis La together? I'm not sure if Tataru mentioned this, but we Scions have an airship of our own now.
I see no reason why not. Assuming your sister can bear the thought of sharing a deck with me.
Be my guest. But confuse me with Alphino again and I'll throw you overboard. Ugh! I don't know who he thinks he is, but he's nothing like Alphino painted him to be.
I will admit, he is not exactly as I imagined him either. Based on what I had read of the man, I think I was expecting someone a little less blunt?
Alright, well, we got Insidian. Didn't actually have to, like, really track him down that much. Oh, they took us all the way over here, okay. But yeah, it will be interesting to see us get a little bit more information on Tiamat, actually. It is kind of a thing they kind of didn't go over much during Heaven's Ward. It's been quite some time since I last set a foot on Azila, but I understand the three of you were here rather more recently. I suppose your chance to meet with Tiamat during your visit? Alas not, we had no cause to set foot here in the Delta Quadrant, but I have studied the relevant records, which is not to say I wouldn't appreciate a first-hand account of your dealings with her. Well then, Narn is the person to ask. As far as I know, she's the only one of us to have met Tiamat face-to-face. Let's just say it helped that Migasurmir was there to introduce me. Oh yes, you're a friend of her father. I too have met with Tiamat. At the Dragonstar War came to a close, I came to speak with her, a whim who had fought her own war against man in another age. I wished to know if she had yet harbored thoughts of vengeance, and asked as much. She said no. My hatred for your kind was extinguished long ago. But the guilt she feels of resurrecting Bahamut burns on undimmed, it torments her even now. I see, then your original reason for coming here was out of concern that Tiamat had been forced to summon Bahamut. Nihog is a part of me. I feel his emotions as my own, and I know that he would not allow his sister to be made a tool of evil. In his absence, it falls to me to watch over her. Pizza! Nice. Tiamat awaits, this way. Alright. Oh, there was somebody else behind me. But yeah, it is interesting to see that it seems like in the run-up to Endwalker, they're definitely like first for Dola and then now Tiamat, they're definitely like getting some more of the stuff they kind of left somewhat what's the word I'm looking for? Like, unfinished, I guess? Yeah. So we're getting a bit more detailing on stuff like that. I think I'm going to go ahead and end this video off here, though, because we got 2 more quests until the dungeon, essentially, so if I do half now and then half later, it shouldn't be too big for the video, so next time we'll talk to Tiamat.